Well, my friends, this is an opportunity to see what Canada is becoming. This is not a fiscal cliff. It's a fiscal box canyon out of which there's only one escape, and I'll tell you what that is in a moment. But take a look at the reality here. This is from the National Post, November 24th, 2012, page A6. This is Canada. This is the debt that has increased 4 times in 30 years. This is the debt of Alberta, which has gone from a positive to a negative to a positive and a falling negative. It's the only province that has a surplus. The only one. Look at these. Look at Saskatchewan with huge debt. That's actually, the debt's decreasing in Saskatchewan, but that's one of the only ones. You see there? That means that with the oil revenues, the debt's going down. And look at British Columbia, the debt's going up. There's 7,000. Then there's Manitoba, the debt's going up with a debt of 11,000 roughly. I'm rounding this off, almost 12. And then we come to Prince Edward Island with 12. I'm rounding that off. New Brunswick with 13, and then Nova Scotia with 13,000. Newfoundland, Labrador, 16,000. Look at the biggies. Look at, this is Ontario. Look at the way that line has gone. It's gone from 1,000 to 17,000 in 30 years, almost 18,000. And Quebec, the real winner in the game here, goes from 2,000 roughly to 21,000, increased tenfold in 30 years. This is impossible. This cannot be paid. The debt means that either the governments will have to tax without spending, as they have continued in the past to spend without taxing. This means that Canada is no longer economically viable. The only province which has a surplus is Alberta, and it's losing its position of surplus. So, my friends, the answer for Western Canada, where the debt resources ratio is favorable. In other words, there's the capacity to finance the government of Western Canada, but we cannot finance the governments of these basically loser provinces. These provinces have increased the debt at the expense of Western Canada because the only thing that keeps the Canadian dollar afloat is the export of Western resources from fishery, forestry, mining, agriculture, etc. Petroleum and natural gas is all that's keeping the Canadian dollar afloat today. So, my friends, if they want to cut off and to destroy the capacity to build pipelines and to sell oil and gas, what they're effectively saying is they will not and they do not care to pay off these growing debts. Western Canada must separate or become bankrupt with the rest of the country, and there's no reason why Western resources should be poured down the bankrupt rat hole of Canadian fiscal irresponsibility any longer. We must free the West so that we can have the resources to pay for the services we need. Canada can no longer afford to do it, and they will not allow us to escape until and unless we have a referendum in each province, and that's all we need to do. As there are 34 states in the United States seeking independence from the Union of the United States, we have far more reasons, and we have a legal means to do it through the referendum initiative and recall process. You and I must become active in independence for Western Canada, or leave this legacy of huge taxation and no opportunities to future generations of Western Canadians. I'm not willing to do that. Let us free the West. Thank you.